guys, this is like actually crazy. Sorry. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Hey y'all, it's been another week that I did not post, so sorry about that. But I was just so tired. It was my Chuseok weekend last week. Well, my Chuseok vacation last week, so I was just like rotting and kind of reminding myself that I have really bad burnout. So yeah, I was relaxing and having my time, and now we're back. But I have my period, so I feel disgusting and terrible and ugly, but I still love you guys, so I showed up anyway, even though I'm in my bed. So yeah, welcome to my bed. Nice and cozy vibes, and I hope that you are also in bed or playing this in the background while you're doing some chores or doing whatever. We're going to talk about dating in Korea today because that is something that some of you have asked me about, and I think that's a very fun topic. So what I want to do today for the video, we are going to talk about some of my own experiences, but also some tips that I have and some tips that I've heard from like other friends and stuff for dating in Korea, or like expectations of dating in Korea. And then I also wanted to look on Reddit to see any experiences on Reddit from dating in Korea, because I have heard stuff like that like is crazy. So we're going to do kind of like a podcasty kind of thing slash commentary, I guess. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Let's see how it goes. As you can see, we're super comfy. We're in my bed. So yeah, get into bed with me and let's talk about my drink of the day. We're having a very cozy coffee. It's very delicious. It's my favorite recipe that I've done in a while. So I've been obsessed with it, and I've been having it like probably every other day or every day. Grab a snack or a drink and get into bed with me, and let's get started with today's video. Okay, so let's talk the first things first. Obviously, life is not a K-drama. Korean men tend to be very attentive, I think, to women. Like, yeah, in general, they can be fairly kind or whatever. But I think it's also like sometimes it's like just second nature for them, because they, like most of the time they are raised to like in that kind of society where they should be a little bit more graceful to women. So I don't want you guys to think like, oh, because he fixed my hair, whatever. Like if you have a Korean guy friend, he fixes your hair, whatever, like he's in love with you, or like it's a K-drama romance, because that doesn't really exist. And so I don't want you guys to have come in here with like expectations. That's not a real thing. Sometimes you will see, like especially on TikTok or whatever, like it's like romanticized stuff, but that is not real life. So don't come in here with the false expectations that life is going to be a K-drama. But you're smart enough to know that, right? So we don't need to talk about that too deeply. So I want to talk about dating apps. Okay. I've only ever used two. I haven't gone on like a lot of dating apps here. When I first moved here, I had just gotten out of a serious relationship of like 2 years. So I wasn't dating for like a year. I didn't start dating. And even then I didn't date any Koreans until I dated June. Is that true? Yes, I didn't date any Koreans until I started dating June. And June was kind of a fluke. Like it was like a friend like put us together, kind of. Anyway, yeah, June was kind of a fluke, and like we didn't meet through the dating apps. And it is a thing here. It's called sogeting, and it's like your friends like introducing you, and it is like preferred usually because obviously it's not a dating app, and like you can trust your friend for like putting you guys together, whatever. So that's what happened with me in June. So I got lucky with that, but I did use a few dating apps, really just like the same ones from home, like Tumblr, Tinder, and what's the other one? Bumble. I used those two. Tinder I didn't use as much. Bumble I used a little bit more just because that was like my preference, I guess. But I did hear one recently. I think it's called Golden Spoon, and that one is like crazy because apparently the guys have to have a specific kind of income to even like get into the dating app, which is so tea. I've also heard of Hello Talk, which I've mentioned before on the channel. Hello Talk is supposed to be used for language exchange, but a lot of the time it can also be used as a dating app. A few people have met through there. I've also heard of Noon Date, but I don't have a lot of information on that one. So if you are into dating apps, like you are more than welcome to like try a bunch of stuff and see what you like. I have found that in general, a lot of boys are on Tinder. Obviously, Tinder, no matter where you go in the world, most of the boys are gonna have Tinder. And then on Bumble, I found a lot more foreigners than I found Koreans. I think I only found like Korean girls. So yeah, that's that, if that's your preference. I don't really have much advice for that, to be honest. I'm not like a dating app girl or a guru, so I don't really know. But as always, tread carefully and make sure that everyone is tested. For the language barrier, there are actually a lot of people in our generation who speak English, so I don't think you need to worry per se for like speaking Korean. I think it does close your dating pool a little bit if you don't speak any Korean. So if you do want, like, I think it's so weird to target like dating Korean people or like dating people from a specific race. I think that's very strange, to be honest. But if you are living in Korea and you are open to it, I would suggest like learning Korean at least a little bit so you guys can communicate. It can be really difficult if you guys are just not on the same page, or like it's really hard to have those kind of deep and meaningful conversations when you guys have to use Google Translate and it's just uncomfortable. So I think like, yeah, obviously speak Korean, but don't like freak out about learning an entirely new language for someone that you haven't met just because you want to date someone from like Korea, because it is possible, especially in Seoul or like anywhere else. Honestly, like you can find people who speak English just fine. So I don't think you should stress about it. Don't learn Korean for a potential partner because that's just silly. Learn Korean for you, girl. Team. Whether it be through apps or like just in general, it could be a hit or miss, to be honest. I think that's just in general, that's just dating. Like if you are gonna date, like sometimes you're just not gonna find the right person, or like maybe you go on a date and it doesn't click, or you talk to somebody but they turn out to be a jerk. You know, I think that's just a hit or miss. I think keep trying and keep pushing, but it is like, it's not gonna be like you download the app and then suddenly you've met your husband or whatever. And I don't think that you should put too many expectations on things, especially because we're getting into the deep chats. But as a foreigner, it is like a big fear, and it was a fear of mine for a few weeks while I was dating June, because I didn't know it is a big thing in Korean culture. I don't want to say things and then people come at me in the comments, but like Korean men especially want to date the foreigner just to have experience with a foreigner, because, you know, we're like fresh and different and open-minded, like all that stuff. So they want to date the foreigner just to have experience with the foreigner, but they get married to a Korean because their parents are Korean and expect them to marry a Korean or whatever. So that is a thing, and that was a big fear of mine. Obviously, my husband and I are married, and his family didn't give that I'm a foreigner, but a lot of traditional families in that older generation really do care if their child is dating a foreigner. And I have heard of experiences as such where you are treated differently because you're a foreigner, or like you aren't taken as seriously because you're a foreigner. So yeah, I think just take things pretty slowly and kind of like figure things out from there, and like have conversations with your partner and see what their intentions are, because that is a thing. I don't know how common it is nowadays, but it has been a thing for a while. So I do want you guys to pay attention to that. And again, like I said, it could be like a hit or miss, but like, yeah, just be careful of that. Oh yeah. And then also sometimes like people just match you or like add you on Kakao or whatever. I've had like multiple like taxi drivers add me on Kakao just because they want to practice their English with me. And it's like it's so strange, but also like so funny. So I don't know. Yeah, sometimes people just add you just because they want to, like they're curious or they want to like practice their English or whatever. So make intentions clear at all times. Make intentions clear, because it can get like really weird. Or like sometimes if you don't like somebody and then they're like, oh, we can be friends or we can practice English together. Like we can like language exchange, but then language exchange is not language exchange. It's just like nasty.
You're nasty.
So make your intentions clear and make sure that their intentions are clear. Make sure everybody's on the same page. All right. Yeah. Go on coffee dates first. That's actually like a very common thing as well. The like Korean first dates are usually like really casual. It's like going to coffee or like getting ice cream or going on a walk or whatever. It's not like a big dinner and like a movie or anything like that. But I think that's great because then it's just like chill and you don't really need to have a lot of pressure and you guys are just having the chats. And I love a coffee date. Like that goes hard and then I can go home early. That's beautiful. So yeah, that's usually how it goes. Like they're pretty casual at first. And if someone asks you to coffee instead of going to dinner, don't take it to heart and be like, oh, he hates me. He doesn't take me seriously or whatever. It's a normal thing for them to go on coffee dates before they do like a big dinner or whatever. And I think that's just like to suss people out without having to spend like $1 million. And that's tea. Good for them. So yeah, I love a coffee date. I think that's great. Do you guys like coffee or do you drink matcha or tea? What do you like to drink? Comment below. Let me know. Watch out for the hongdae boy. If you want to experience the hongdae boy, I appreciate that and I can respect that and you deserve to experience that. But be careful because he could potentially break your heart. And you know exactly what he looks like. It's like the pale skin and the hair and they wear all black or they have tattoos and they're usually pretty hot. And they speak like just enough English. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, just be careful. That stereotype, that's a real person. That hongdae guy, he's not kidding. That's a real person. And yeah, just be careful. But have fun if you want to have fun. So that's all I have to say about that, the type. Set boundaries early. So it's like a thing here to date pretty quickly. Like if you guys say, like if you guys go on a few dates, it's kind of assumed already like, oh, we're dating, like we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And it is like a thing. It's a thing that like after 2 weeks, you guys are dating and then like after a month, not even a month, probably like in the middle, in between. Let's say you guys have been dating for like you guys have gone on 3 dates. Now you're dating, you're boyfriend and girlfriend. And then after like the 4th or 5th date, they're like, I love you. Bruh. Hey, whoa, relax. Damn, I literally just learned your favorite color. Chill. I feel like that's how it goes. Like they move pretty fast here. And like, I mean, sometimes it's like a thing though, like you can feel it and you can understand it and like whatever. I'm not saying like, oh, it's like crazy if you love each other after 4 dates, but like for some people it can feel like it's like way too fast. And I want you guys to know that it does happen here like that. Like it's very fast paced. It's very Korean actually of them to like have a pali pali lifestyle even with dating. So yeah, but I don't want, like, it's not weird, I think, but I don't want you to be confused. Sorry, I'm like looking at Rocky. I don't want you to be confused. And like, I want you guys to know kind of early on, like what your boundaries are. Like tell them like, if you want to take it slow, all that stuff, make it very clear because it does move pretty fast paced over here and it can be overwhelming for some people. So yeah, it's also a thing to be, I don't know how to explain this. It's a little bit harder for a brown girl with like dark skin or with curly hair or whatever. Like I said, I didn't start dating Koreans until I found my husband. It wasn't like a thing for me. Like I was just kind of dating anybody if I vibed with them. But for a really long time, I didn't feel like any Koreans were interested in me. I only ever went for foreigners because I thought that only foreigners were into me. Even when we went clubbing, like one of my girlfriends, she's pale skin, dark hair. She's very beautiful. Love her. Love her, queen. If we would go clubbing out in Hongdae, like the foreigners would always flock to me and then like the Koreans would flock to her. And it was very clear that they have like a type. Like they like their pale skin, they like the dark hair, they like whatever. So I do want you to know that as a non-white woman, it is probably going to be a little bit harder for you to find a Korean who is into non-white women. It's not impossible and it's not like, wow, you're gonna have to work so hard. Like that's not a thing, but you know, you can definitely tell, you know? And I think that is just like what they're used to. Like Korean women tend to have very pale skin and dark hair. Like that is just like the trend of society. And like that is just like what they're used to. So it's like a foreigner, but it's not that far from like their roots. It makes me feel so icky saying that, but like that's just how my experiences have folded out, is basically as someone who is not white, who does not have straight hair, it is way harder. Like I said, not impossible. It can totally happen, and I've seen it done before, and I've seen so many like interracial couples with black women and they are so happy and their men love them. It is completely possible. Just know that I have no idea what else to say for this because I haven't dated anybody outside of June who's a Korean, so I can't say like enough on the subject, but that's basically been my experiences and the experiences of those around me. But let's look at some experiences of people who I don't know on Reddit. All right, let's go. I don't know if you can see my computer screen because I literally cannot be bothered to stand up. But I'm going to be looking on my computer. So let's look together. Okay. Wait, I found one that was like 21 days ago. All right, let's see. I know. This is a tale as told as time. Everyone complains about dating here, and if you don't speak Korean, the chances shrink even more. But honestly, I noticed the same thing back in my home country too. I just blamed it on age at the time. I came to Korea with a broken heart after ending a 3-year relationship I started in uni. Oh, that was me. Now, I'm just curious, does nobody in their mid to late 20s usually want to date seriously? I just turned 26. And even though I've dated a bit here, both Koreans and foreigners, I've always been upfront that I date seriously. I go in with the mindset that every relationship could be my last, yet it feels like for most people, it's just about having fun or hooking up for a few months. That's sad. I feel like that's just in general in Gen Z though, to be honest. I dated a handful of women while staying there for Korea for 4 months, and it was a tumultuous as hell. One girl seemed great and we dated a few weeks and then she broke up with me. She broke up with me at a pocha. A pocha is a place where it depends. It's like a place where you're meant to drink and like have like snacks, but sometimes it's called a hunting pocha. And a hunting pocha is when you go with with all of your friends and then like obviously all of you are single and then you kind of just eat and drink and then look around to see if you can find anybody to for the night. You're nasty. Okay, tea. We're educating with Jan. So she broke up with me at a pocha while we were snacking and drinking soju, WTF. And then I left and she ran after me upset and said it's rude in her culture to do that. Oh, this is crazy behavior. I've seen so many people fighting, by the way. It's so awkward because Korean girls are like so dramatic. They really think that they are in a K-drama sometimes. And they will be like having a whole big ass fight and like pouting in front of people in public. Girl, get it together. A few days later at 3 a.m., I got novels worth of text on Kakao Talk with her saying she made a huge mistake and she was scared that she broke it off. And she was scared, so she broke it off for that reason. Oh, okay, girl. Another girl I dated for a few weeks, and on date 2 or 3, she said she loved me. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? She then also broke up with me not too long after because I wasn't texting her. Because I wasn't texting her as much as she wanted from the love of her life. Yo. Korean girls are so funny. She was messaging me constantly with photos and updates of mundane things like lunch at work or that she is getting a drink with her brother, and she sent me photos of the drinks just sitting at the table. Ha! The last one I only went on one date with, and once we split a bottle of soju, she trauma dumped about her ex nonstop and then seemed confused why I found out to be a turnoff. It's not a huge sample size, but Koreans over-dramatize romance in my opinion. Oh, that's tea. It seems performative in a lot of ways, and the women's outlook on romance feels very immature and Disney-ish, if that makes sense. Oh, and there was also a Korean girl I dated who grew up in Kazakhstan, and she was one of the most down-to-earth girls I've ever met. I was really smitten with her, but when I left Korea for a bit, she got a boyfriend. Oh no. That sucks for that guy. All right. We got a long one here. I'm in my 30s and dating in my 30s as well. Met a few nice guys that were looking for what I wasn't giving. Oh, tea. Met a few that honestly put me off dating again for months. Literally, I want to draw you like a French girl. What do you mean no? Oh, I'll give you... Sorry, hold on. I'll give you 2 dates, but then I expect you to have less boundaries. One moment I have a phone call, left me there. And I was gonna cover dinner anyway since he traveled farther. I'm confused on this person's writing, but I think I kind of understand. Another guy had a decent relationship for about 6 months till he told me I was doing Christmas wrong and refused to meet my friends. Hello? My friend was coerced into walking the Tanton, and he was like a foot taller than her, so she was too nervous to say no. Oh no. Another guy asked her for her apartment code after one date and asked if he could help himself to the kitchen when he came over if she wasn't. Hello? And there are many more unfortunate stories from both of us. Neither of us are into hookups, but we aren't prudes, and we are honest about stuff from the beginning in case they get the wrong idea. I'm starting to feel like I don't know how to read people anymore. I've been here for 6 years. I'm just tired. Edit. None of these meetups happened in clubs either. They were via apps, Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel, with this discussion beforehand. That's really unfortunate. I honestly think though, like, you really never know, and like I think there's shitty guys anywhere, to be honest. So I don't think this is a Korean thing. Oh, I just found this thing. What it's like swiping in Korea as a foreigner. About me 25. Okay, T. Mm-hmm. This is wild behavior. I am flabbergasted. All right, for real though. Guys, this is like actually crazy. Sorry. Hello. This was 4 years ago. This was 4 years ago. So it must have changed, right? Someone said, oh, that's cool. No. Hello. Guys, no. Actually though, this was 4 years ago. So I'm really hoping that this has gotten better, but this is crazy. Guys, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. Okay. No, that actually made me really upset. I need something like I need a palate cleanser. Can we talk about something nice? Okay, I had to scour through Reddit to find something a little bit more positive because I need a palate cleanser after that no foreigner thing. So this was 2 months ago. Okay. Are you guys having fun? I'm having the best time. I'm very relaxed right now. I love doing this in my bed. This is great. I met my boyfriend 2 years ago through an app while I was traveling through Korea. We did long distance for a year and then I lived in Korea for 10 months and now he moved to Europe with me. T, good for you, Korean. I met his whole family several times and he spends a lot of time with me now. Oh, sorry, a lot of time with mine now. He lets me check his phone. I don't. He is very attentive and kind, does more household work than me, and is my biggest supporter. So my experience was pretty much the opposite. Thank you. Even this person said thank you. Why is it so hard? Maybe Reddit is just like where everybody has to complain about everything at all times. Dated 2 Korean men in my time. First did everything for me, paid for everything, constantly taking me out, drove me everywhere. But then he started making comments like, I like girls with short hair. Oh, you should cut your hair. And I like this name better. This should be your name. What? What are you talking about? This should be your name. What are we talking about? He also told me he broke up with his girlfriend of 8 years by ghosting her. No conversation at all. Hello? Did you stay? Did you stay after that? He told you he broke up with his girlfriend by ghosting her after 8. Can you imagine? 8 years. No ring? And you ghost me? Oh, that is grounds for a crime. Oh, no, no, no. Recent guy, again, did a lot for me. Bought me medicine when sick, liked me to spoon him. T, good for him. Carried my stuff, etc., but ghosted me after a while and also told me all the times he'd been ghosted. That's crazy behavior. So in my opinion, they tend to love bomb hard, especially with actions, but then for whatever reason, they ghost. I also met a lot of Korean men and women with partners, fiancés, and spouses who regularly cheated. No, bad vibes. Also, Korean men will do anything they can to avoid wearing and seem really keen to make a baby. No. No. To make a baby. Okay. First, I want to apologize to everyone on Reddit who has had a terrible experience. You guys have just met terrible people. We did see some common themes that I want you guys to pay attention to in general when you guys are dating in Korea. But for the most part, if you're going to find a person, it's honestly a hit or miss. It's luck of the draw, just like what we've heard multiple times throughout this video. You could either find a great person or a terrible person, but it doesn't mean that like if you find a terrible person, it's just because they're Korean. Like that's not a thing. You're going to find a terrible person no matter where you are. But in the end, I'm sorry that we had to go through that and see all these things that these people have seen and gone through. But I think that was a very eye-opening experience for all of us. So yeah, let me know if this video helped you at all, if you have had any experience, or I know some of you are married or dating Koreans. So let me know in the comments below what your experience was with your partner. And yeah, we need some positivity after all of that crazy stuff that we just saw. So comment below. Or if you have any other questions about anything that's related to Korea or anything you want to see on the channel, definitely comment below. Let me know what you want to see. If you watch this video the whole way through, don't forget to drop a soap bar emoji. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. So I love you. Bye.